Good evening. Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi emplanes for New Delhi from Muscat after signing comprehensive economic partnership agreement with Oman. EU leaders meet in Brussels for a two-day summit, discussion on defence, long-term budget as well as using frozen Russian assets for Ukraine. And Australia promises new laws to target hate and radicalisation. Prime Minister Albanese says measures aim to banish evil scourge of anti-Semitism from his country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has successfully concluded three-nation tour as he departed from Oman after visiting Jordan and Ethiopia. The visit to Oman held significant importance as it marked completion of 70 years of diplomatic relations between the two nations. In the final leg of his visit to Jordan, the first leg to Jordan, Prime Minister Modi held productive discussions with King Abdullah II in Amman. Later, Prime Minister visited Ethiopia, the Horn of Africa, where India and Ethiopia witnessed a new dawn in its diplomatic ties with the two-day visit of Prime Minister Modi. In the final leg of his visit to Oman, Prime Minister Modi was bestowed with the Order of Oman Award on Thursday for his exceptional contribution to India-Oman ties and his visionary leadership. The award was presented to Prime Minister Modi by Sultan Haitham bin Tariq of Oman. It has been previously given to Queen Elizabeth, Queen Maxim, Emperor Akihito, Nelson Mandela, King Abdullah of Jordan. This is the 29th such global honor for Prime Minister Modi. Later, both leaders exchanged gifts with one another. Earlier on Thursday, Prime Minister Modi met with Sultan Haitham bin Tariq in Muscat. The two leaders noted that completion of 70 years of diplomatic relations between India and Oman is a landmark in bilateral partnership. They explored ways to further add greater depth to the India-Oman strategic partnership. Both exchanged views on a broad range of topics, including defence, security, trade and investment, energy, agriculture, technology, new and emerging areas, culture and people-to-people ties, among others. They also discussed issues of regional and global interest. Prime Minister Modi and Sultan of Oman also witnessed signing of Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement (CEPA) between the two nations. The leaders welcomed the signing of CEPA as a milestone in bilateral ties, affirming it would significantly strengthen India-Oman strategic partnership. Prime Minister Modi earlier participated in India-Oman Business Summit in Oman's Muscat on Thursday. Addressing the event, Prime Minister lauded the deep-rooted India-Oman friendship. The business forum was also attended by industry representatives from India and Oman, highlighted the rich potential to deepen economic linkages. The forum also invited businesses from Oman to invest and innovate in India.
आज हम विश्वास के साथ कह सकते हैं कि समंदर की लहरें बदलती हैं, मौसम बदलते हैं, लेकिन भारत ओमान की दोस्ती हर मौसम में और मजबूत होती है और हर लहर के साथ नई ऊंचाई को छूती है.
Speaking on the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between India and Oman, Prime Minister stressed that signing of CEPA will open pathways of growth, opportunity and enduring partnership between the two great nations.
आज हम एक ऐसा ऐतिहासिक निर्णय ले रहे हैं जिसकी गूंज आने वाले कई दशकों तक सुनाई देगी। कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक पार्टनरशिप एग्रीमेंट यानी सीपा हमारी पार्टनरशिप को 21st सेंचुरी में नया विश्वास, नई ऊर्जा से भर देगा। यह हमारे साझा भविष्य का ब्लूप्रिंट है। यह हमारे ट्रेड को नई गति देगा, इन्वेस्टमेंट को नया भरोसा देगा और हर सेक्टर में अवसरों के नए द्वार खोलेगा। सीपा हमारे नौजवानों के लिए ग्रोथ, इनोवेशन और एम्प्लॉयमेंट के अनेक नए अवसर बनाएगा।
PM Modi also highlighted that when India grows, it makes its friends part of its journey. He added that India is moving at the speed to become third largest economy in the world. It presents great advantages and opportunities for Oman as a maritime partner.
आज बिजनेस वर्ल्ड में भारत की इकोनॉमी की रेजिलियंस की चर्चा होती है। लोग अक्सर पूछते हैं कि दुनिया में इतनी अनिश्चितता है, ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी भी मुश्किलों में है, तो ऐसे में भारत 8% से अधिक की ग्रोथ कैसे अचीव कर रहा है? मैं आपको इसका बड़ा रीजन बताता हूं। असल में बीते 11 वर्षों के दौरान भारत ने सिर्फ पॉलिसी नहीं बदली है, भारत ने अपना इकोनॉमिक डीएनए बदला है।
In some other news, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Brussels on Thursday to attend a key European Union summit. EU leaders have gathered to hold discussions on defense cooperation, long-term EU budget and the possible use of frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. The European Union views Russia-Ukraine conflict as a direct threat to its own security. European Commission Chief von der Leyen had said that she would not leave the summit without an agreement on financing Ukraine for the next 2 years. The talks are seen as critical as officials warn that without EU financial assistance, Ukraine could face a severe funding shortfall by second quarter of next year.
The European Council has committed itself last time that we will close the financing gap of Ukraine for the next 2 years. We're speaking about 137 billion euros that are necessary. It's the estimate, our own estimate and the estimate of the IMF. And we have committed to cover 2/3 of it, 90 billion euros. We'll not leave the European Council without a solution for the funding for Ukraine for the next 2 years. And the two options, one of them then has to be agreed in the European Council.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has vowed a sweeping crackdown on extremism and anti-Semitism on Thursday, promising new laws targeting hate preachers, visa cancellations for those spreading division, and federal offences for serious racial vilification. The announcement came as mourners farewelled 10-year-old Matilda, who is the youngest victim of Sunday's terrorist attack at a Hanukkah celebration on Sydney's Bondi Beach. A father and son gunman, Sajid Akram, who was killed by police, and Navid Akram, who has been charged with murder and terrorism, were allegedly inspired by the Islamic State ideology. The duo killed 15 people in the shooting.
These anti-Semitic terrorist attacks will not be successful with their objective, which is to divide us as a nation. We will continue to come together as a nation. It would appear that there is evidence that this was inspired by a terrorist organisation, by ISIS. Now, some of the evidence which is being procured, including the presence of Islamic State flags in the vehicle that has been seized, are a part of that. Radical perversion of Islam is absolutely a problem. It is something that has been identified globally as a problem as well. ISIS is created by an evil ideology that has been called out, not just by the Australian government, but globally as well.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Key takeaways from second WHO Global Summit on Traditional Medicine. England in a precarious situation after 2 days of play in the third Ashes Test against Australia at the Adelaide Oval.
For sustainability to become more than just a statement, it needs to be practical and seamlessly fit into our lives.
If we are thinking about a net zero economy. And obviously, automobile sector is at the center of this transformation. Instead of buying new vehicle, if I can retrofit and upgrade my existing vehicle, environmentally speaking, it is superior.
Zero waste means repair, reuse, analyze.
We realized that if women became involved in decision making and generated income, the whole family would benefit. Before, we needed a lot of manpower to handle the waste. But now, with the conveyor belt,
It converts the waste into electricity, powering 2 farms.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Ever since retaking the White House, US President Donald Trump has been embroiled in conflict with the country's own universities. European and German universities quickly saw this as a potential chance to attract talent from the US. And now some numbers are out. Lars Holter is with DW and joins me from Berlin. Lars, what are the German universities reporting?
Thanks for having me. Well, they are indeed seeing bigger demand from the United States. A new report on this came from the German Academic Exchange Service, or DAAD, and that organization is the world's largest funding organization for the international exchange of students and researchers. So they are the link between German universities and foreign students and researchers. They're saying that the number of applications coming from the United States has more than doubled this year. And they're tying this trend directly to President Trump's policies. Since taking office, Trump has cut billions of dollars in funding for universities. He's curtailed academic freedom at universities, and he fired hundreds of scientists from federal agencies. Now add to that parts of Trump's immigration policies and the fact that many top researchers as well as top students in the United States are actually from other countries. And you have a lot of people worrying about not only their academic career, but also about their future in the US. And that is, according to the DAAD, exactly the environment in which they're looking for an alternative, and in many cases finding it here in Germany.
And so is Germany actively recruiting talent in the US?
No, they're not. In fact, the DAAD is still working with lots of American universities, and they keep investing in transatlantic partnerships. They're also saying that they are working for the benefit of Germany, but specifically not against the United States. The president of the DAAD says in an interview too, quote, "We're advertising in the US, but we're not recruiting." He even goes as far as to say that Germany, or Europe for that matter, could not come close to replacing the US as the #1 country for academics and research. Universities in the United States are better funded than anywhere in the world, and researchers there are leading in many fields. But he also says that while we're seeing an uptick of US applications that is due to recent politics, the quality of German universities in general has always been well known around the world, and current numbers actually prove that point. Currently, most non-German students here come from other EU countries, but there's also some 58,000 students from India, some 38,000 from China, more than 10,000 each from Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, and Syria, and there's thousands of students from African countries as well. So Germany is already seen as a great location for academics, but current developments in the US have certainly helped tip the scales a bit.
And Lars, how important are these developments for the German economy?
It's huge. Germany obviously once the economic backbone of the EU and one of the most innovative countries in the world, has seen a weak economy for years. We've also seen our dependency on other countries rise. We've seen countries like China playing a much bigger role in the world, and no longer just in manufacturing, but in development of future technologies. And it's high time for Germany to change course and find ways to grow stronger in this global fight for leadership and influence. Germany is currently investing in future technologies, but we are in many sectors dealing with a shortage of skilled workers, and often with the infrastructure needed to innovate and develop leading businesses. So if we're getting more of the world's brightest minds to study here and to integrate them in our society, we have an actually better chance economically in the long run as well.
Lars Holter, thank you. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Netherlands, David van Wiel, is in India on a state visit. FM Wiel arrived in New Delhi on Thursday. The visiting minister met with India's Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh. The leaders held a bilateral meeting along with their delegation. Earlier, FM Wiel visited the Consulate of Netherlands in Mumbai. His visit and engagements are focused on further deepening and diversifying India-Netherlands bilateral ties. India has reaffirmed its commitment to sustain humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan with a renewed focus on healthcare cooperation and long-term supply of essential medicines. Health Minister JP Nadda held a productive meeting with Afghanistan's Minister of Public Health, Malawi Noor Jalal Jalali, underscoring India's support for the medical needs of the Afghan people. As a symbolic gesture, India handed over cancer medicines and vaccines, reflecting its continued humanitarian outreach. A larger consignment of medicines and vaccines, along with a state-of-the-art 128-slice CT scanner, is also being dispatched to Afghanistan, strengthening healthcare infrastructure and access to treatment. The second WHO Global Summit on Traditional Medicine, inaugurated yesterday, placed India's ancient wisdom firmly on the world map. Among the key highlights was a dedicated special session on Ashwagandha, examining its role and relevance as a traditional medicine at the global level. Here's more.
Held in New Delhi, the second Global WHO Summit brought together leading professors, scientists, researchers and members of the global medical fraternity. The special session on Ashwagandha drew wide participation, reflecting growing international interest in evidence-based traditional medicine. Experts discussed Ashwagandha's therapeutic potential, particularly its adaptogenic properties, role in stress management, immunity support and overall well-being. Speakers emphasized the need to bridge classical knowledge with modern scientific validation, standardization, and global regulatory frameworks.
अश्वगंधा पर आयोजित सत्र अत्यंत प्रासंगिक है। मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है कि यह सत्र वैश्विक श्रोताओं में अश्वगंधा के सुरक्षित एवं साक्ष्य आधारित उपयोग की समझ को और अधिक समृद्ध करेगा।
The session underlined Ashwagandha's journey from ancient Ayurvedic text to contemporary research laboratories, positioning it as a promising natural intervention in preventive and integrative healthcare systems worldwide.
So we all know the history of Ashwagandha. It's one of the single most important botanicals in Ayurveda. But that means it's one of the single most important botanicals on the face of the planet. Ayurveda is the oldest living system of medicine on earth. And when you have an herb like ashwagandha has its highest respect in that system, that means it is one of the most important botanicals for human health on the planet.
The focused deliberations at the WHO Global Summit signal a larger shift, where traditional medicine, backed by science and global cooperation, is finding its rightful place in modern healthcare discourse. Ashwagandha, rooted in tradition, is now stepping confidently onto the global stage. With inputs from experts across disciplines, the summit reaffirmed that the future of healthcare may well lie in harmonizing age-old wisdom with modern science. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
In sports, England find themselves in a precarious situation after 2 days of play in the third Ashes Test against Australia at the Adelaide Oval. England were left reeling at 213 for the loss of 8 wickets when stumps were called on day 2. They trailed Australia by 158 runs after the hosts were bowled out for 371 in their first innings. With the Ashes on the line, they need a miraculous fight back from skipper Ben Stokes and a bit of shepherding with the lower order. Stokes showed a lot of patience for his unbeaten 45, while Jofra Archer also played a composed innings of 30 runs after the visitors were reduced to 168 for 8 wickets. Australia's Nathan Lyon became the 6th highest wicket taker in Test cricket during the second day of the third match of the ongoing Ashes series at the Adelaide Oval on Thursday. Lyon required 2 scalps to go past the compatriot and former pacer Glenn McGrath's tally of 563 wickets. 38-year-old spinner did the job in the first over of his 141st Test. Lyon is the most successful Test bowler amongst active cricketers, with fellow Aussie Mitchell Starc in second place. Overall, amongst Australians, Lyon is only behind the legendary Shane Warne, who has 708 wickets. Delhi and District Cricket Association President Rohan Jaitley on Thursday said that selection of Delhi players in IPL is a clear indication that association is on the right path. He emphasized the crucial role of club cricket in shaping the future of the sport in the capital. Speaking in an exclusive interaction with DD India's Abhishek Prasad, Jaitley also said it was the matter of great pride for DDCA to host the global football icon, Lionel Messi.
The DDCA League has kick-started in the capital, and to talk more about that, I have with me is the president of the DDCA, Mr. Rohan Jaitley, sir. How important is district and district club level cricket for strengthening, grassroots level cricket in India?
See, what happens is that in the city of Delhi, clubs play a very pivotal role. The amount of cricket that happens through the club structure is about 1500 to 1700 plus games, depending on season to season. And we this year are targeting to do about close to 2000 games in the year, which is a big number across age groups, across gender, across boys, girls, and it's the bed where all the talent actually comes out from. The children who have a potential play for different clubs, and they move up the ranks and then eventually go and play for the state. So
in the Indian IPL auctions, we saw, Tejasvi Dahiya getting 3 crore rupees, and there are a number of Delhi cricketers who are playing in the IPL for quite some time, like Priyan Sharia, Ayush Badoni. So how important, how good is this for Delhi cricket?
See, it is exceptionally important that when we see children who are playing for the state of Delhi performing, and the performance is getting noticed, and the franchises at the IPL level are picking them up, it only reinforces the strength that we are certainly doing something correct to ensure that the best talent of the city is getting an opportunity apart from the state of the Delhi also. If they play, if they perform, they certainly will get an opportunity to play for some IPL team at the end of the day.
A few days ago, we saw football icon Lionel Messi came here in Delhi, and the Arun Jaitley Stadium welcomed him. So how important for a global star coming here at Arun Jaitley Stadium?
His tour to the country, of Messi, was effectively a tour which was a tour of national pride also. Visited 4 cities, had an exceptional tour, and for us in Delhi, having an opportunity to host him during his visit to come and have a crowd interaction was an iconic moment, because it is a rarity when players of his global stature do visit places and do engage with the fans, and as an association, it was of great pride and honor that he visited us.
So that was the Delhi and District Cricket Association President Rohan Jaitley speaking about how important is this club level cricket is for the entry into the Ranji team and ultimately to the Indian cricket team. He also spoke on how it was a matter of great pride for the DDCA to host football icon Lionel Messi in the capital. With cameraman SP Dubey, Abhishek Prasad for DD India.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan this QR code on your screens and download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.